Good morning. It's Saturday, I think the 12th of November, and it's early. It's just after 7:30 in the morning, but I've got a few things to get done today, so I wanted to pop on and say hello and update you on what I'd been doing. I did say that I'd been doing some baby knits, and it was hard to decide what to make because where I live is quite warm. The baby has just been born and actually lives further north from me, so it's a summer newborn. So I wanted to look at things that were a little bit different for baby knits. So I just wanted to show you what I've done. You can see I'm sitting next to my new old spinning wheel. For some reason I looked on Facebook Marketplace and this had just been listed like 10 minutes up the road for such a bargain price. I wasn't looking for a spinning wheel, but as you can see, I'm sitting on the floor. As you can see, it's quite small. That's part of my loom, you can see there. It's quite small. It's such a pretty little wheel and it looked to be in good condition. When I went and had a look, the lady was telling me that it had come from a family member and she'd had it stored in her garage for 12 years. And what didn't show up in the original photos that I realised when I saw it was that it had been stored for 12 years in a garage and hadn't been covered. So it had 12 years worth of just gross dirt, grime, God knows what, all over it. So it took me a little while to clean it up a bit. I had to put some new flyer hooks on because they were all rusted. I've just got a piece of cotton as a drive band, but I have ordered one of those stretchy polyurethane sort of ones that I'm going to have to cut down to get it to fit, but that's okay. And yeah, like, I'm not a spinner, but I got this cleaned up. I oiled it, put some wax on it, and it's just started spinning beautifully. So I think it's just going to be a matter of practicing every day until I get something that resembles yarn. But yeah, so I'm really happy I went and picked it up. Such a lovely little wheel. And I got to, yeah, bring it back to life again. But anyway, I've got my laptop sitting here so I can give you some details about the patterns. The first one is a blanket, but it's not necessarily designed to be wrapping the baby in. I saw, I think it's Eleanor from, I can't think of her podcast name. Could be, oh, no, I don't want to say. Could be Simple Knit Co, maybe. But I saw Eleanor knitting this and I thought this would make it a great sort of blanket to just chuck on the floor when the baby's having some tummy time. Yeah, it's not terribly big. I didn't have a lot of yarn. I probably would have liked to have made it a bit bigger. What I've done is I have made everything in yarn that is machine washable. So it's not always the choice of yarn that I would have naturally chosen, but anyway. So the first one is called, just bring it up, it's called the Spiral Blanket of Awesome, and it's by Sharon McMahon. And I made this from a line, 3 skeins of the Line brand Ferris wheel, which from memory is one of those cake yarns. So it's, as it says, it's a spiral blanket. So it has a center cast on, which I really don't like, but once I got past that, it's pretty easy going. So it's just a big, awesome spiral blanket of awesomeness. So that was the first thing. And I was sort of thinking, well, if the baby's having some tummy time just laying on this little blanket, that the baby would need something to play with. So the next pattern I did is called Sardine by Barbara Seeger, and I ended up making 3 sardines. These were also very fiddly. The way the pattern is written is you cast on here, it's knit in the round. I just found that so difficult, and I knew I wanted to make more than one, so I had to find a way of doing it that suited me. So I just cast on here, knit flat until I'd finished the head, then jointed in the round. So I had some Morris & State 10 ply, Morris & Sons, sorry, Estate 10 ply. Morris & Sons is a bricks and mortar yarn store in Australia. I think they have 3, possibly 4 outlets, and this is just their own estate yarn label in their 10 ply, which is like a worsted to Aran weight, I guess. And then for the body, I used Knit Picks Galleria, and it's in the Surrealism colorway. So this is a color changing yarn. It's actually, it's a label there. It says it's an Aran weight, 100% wool. I don't mind if this isn't machine washable, but if they felt in the wash, great. This is like reminds me of a Noro sort of color changing yarn, and even the actual yarn itself, and it's a bit like Noro. Like, this was really annoying because there was a join in the yarn and there wasn't that smooth color transition, which is what you sometimes get in the Noro as well. But yeah, and because it is thick and thin, there were some places where the yarn was just really thin and the filling was showing. So I just went back and duplicate stitched over those thin parts. So we've got a few little scales on our trio of sardines. So that's a couple of things to think about if you've got a summer baby and you want to make a gift, is maybe make some sort of toy. So the next thing I did, had a couple of babies born recently, and I wanted to make some of these wrap type cardigans because I just think they're so great. Like, you can open them right out, lay the baby on it. There's no sort of fiddling to get, like, you do have to get the arms through the sleeves, but I think it's a lot easier to pop these on than some sort of, you know, pulling a jumper over their head or something. So this, I think this might have been the first one I made. Let me just check. Yeah, this is the first one. This is Cutie Pie by Erica Knight. I would not make this one again. I can't remember exactly what it was now, but it was just like the pattern was just, I've written here in my notes, the pattern is too clunky. It's definitely not a beginner knit, even though it looks like a great beginner knit. The way the pattern was written, it's not. It was lots of like reverse one side to make it like the other side, and do this here, but at the same time do this other thing. And yeah, it's not it's not difficult, but it was just clunky. There's also meant to be another button in here that would be against the baby's skin, and I decided to make an I-cord tie for that one. So after making this one and just not liking it, I decided to find another pattern for the second one that I made, and the second one I made I've already given away. It was called Newborn Kimono, and it was by Subtle Knits, and there's no actual pattern on Ravelry. It's a YouTube tutorial, but it isn't. Yeah, so I think if you go to if you're interested, go to my projects on Ravelry, have a look, and it will give you instructions on how to find the tutorial. So I just followed that, and it was great. Looks very similar, and it's a free pattern, and it's much better than this written pattern for a beginner. Okay, now for both the babies I made another toy, and this one is called BBF, which could be baby's best friend, I'm not sure, but it's one of those. Oh, I didn't say what I made this out of. Cutie Pie was made out of Baynes Australia 8-ply Dreamtime Merino 8-ply, which is a DK weight, which is probably a bit thicker than what I would like for a summer baby, but you know, you do get those coolish evenings and early mornings. So yeah, and it's a lovely yarn, lovely, soft. Okay, so back to BBF. I made 2 of these exactly the same. They're just one of those lubbies, which is basically just like a square, tie the corners, and it has this little bunny head on it. So I think that's really cute, and it is super soft. That was made from the Bella Baby chenille. Bella Baby could be an Australian brand. I got it from Spotlight, which is our big box store, and I think it's one of their own brands. But one of those chenille type yarns, and this is quick and easy. So I actually made 2 of those. Okay, the next thing I did is Smarty Pants by Pearl Soho, which are these little shorts with an I-cord drawstring. You can see they're shaping up the back. These are really cute, and they do have a instructions for a long leg as well, which I might see how these go, how well received they are, and I could do some of the longer ones for autumn and winter. I did these in the Bella Baby again. It's called Toot Garook, which is, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's 100% cotton in fingering weight. The only thing I don't like about cotton is, like, you can see everything. You can see all the shaping. It's much more difficult to weave in ends and hide them. So you've just got to be really super neat, I think, when you're doing anything in cotton. But I actually think they're quite lovely, and I might even see if I can whip up another pair of those before this parcel goes to the little one. The other thing, so that's what I've got in the box so far, is the blanket, the sardines, the little bunny lovey, the wrap cardigan, these pants. I'm working on a little hat, which is called the Bitty Bear hat, and it's by I Knit To Purl To, and you can see I've just cast on, but it's not going to take long. I've just got to knit this maybe another inch, I think it is, before I start the shaping, and then make 2 little bear ears and pop that on. I'm doing this in Baynes Australian Merino. It's a Bluebell 5-ply, which is a sport weight. I think the pattern's for worsted or Aran, so I'm just holding that double. It's okay in the ball. I've got this in other colours, and I think the other colours are softer. Like, I've got a dark navy and I've got a grey, and I think they feel softer. This beigey browny colour is not quite as soft. I'm hoping it softens up a bit when I block it. It's okay. It's just different to the other 2. But yeah. So I'll get this finished today and get it blocked, and I might even look at it doing another pair of those Smarty Pants. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you all this because, as I said, the baby has arrived. So I have to get the box sorted and get it up there. So I wanted to show you those before I sort of went into any of my other bits and pieces. So I might finish this part of the video now, and there might be another bit before I actually post it up to YouTube. But that was the baby knits. So my thoughts on that are looking at machine washable easy care fabrics, unless you know that the parents are going to hand wash, or if you're a really close family member and you live close by and you're prepared to hand wash for them. So yeah, machine washable fabrics. What else? Summer baby, I would look at cotton, although it's not as easy to work with, I don't think. And I would also look at like soft toys, plushies, things like that. Yeah. So let me know if you're a spinner, if you name your spinning wheel. I was reading something and they were saying, oh, you have to name your wheel. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether I said it's a Baynes, which is a New Zealand wheel. And from what I've read, a Baynes, who could be, oh, I don't know. Anyway, the fellow Baynes that made these, I think he went on to work for Ashford, or used to work for Ashford, but it's such a cute little wheel, and so it's got this built-in lazy Kate at the front. I've been told it's very much like a wee Peggy or a little Peggy. Just got the 3 legs. Very sweet. Heap of bobbins, like I've got the 3 here on the lazy Kate, I've got the one that's on the wheel, and so that's 4, and I've got another 5. So heap of bobbins, which is great. Yeah, so I'll do a little bit more spinning on that today. I just want to yeah, do a few minutes every day just to try and improve, because as you know, your first spin is absolute rubbish. The other problem is, I don't know whether you can see it here on the flyer, there's a hook missing because the shaft bit of one of the cup hooks had actually broken off in there, so I can't put another one in. And I thought, oh, it's not really going to make much difference, but it is making it wind onto the bobbin unevenly. I have ordered a couple of those, I don't know what they're called. I guess they're a type of flyer hook, but they, you know, you can slide them along. So I'm thinking I might pop them on this other side and see how well that works. This other side I can't drill into. It's actually got a steel bar going through there, which I'm not sure what that's for. So if you know, let me know. I'm not sure if it's magnetic or not. I haven't tested that. So yeah, that's my new spinning wheel, which thankfully does not take up too much space, because as you can see, I do not have a lot of space in this room. I'm probably sitting on the only spare patch of floor at the moment, because I've got my sari loom here, I've got my sewing machine there. As you can see, I've got some, I started cutting out for a, I think it's just called a Japanese origami bag, which is basically a long rectangle, and the way you flip the sides up, it makes one of those sort of triangular shaped bags. If I ever get around to finishing it, I'll show you. So it's a time crunch as well, because, you know, there's so many things I want to do, and I want to get this knitting done, and there's that squam sweater cowl that started, so I have cast on for that. Between waiting for that to start and finishing the West Knits M cowl, I had to start something new, so I'll show you that. But so I've got lots of projects, and I've been thinking about how to organise things, so I've been coming up with some plans for the new year as well. So I'll talk about that next time. Hope everyone is well. Hope you're all finding time to do some crafting that you want to do. And I'll chat to you next time. Bye.